Hey guys, what's up? It's me, Thomas. Today we're back here with Phantom Strider. Today's video is the craziest / silliest PSAs. They're public service announcements. So yeah, basically the whole don't do drugs, don't smoke, all that. Yeah. Those are what basically PSAs are, with the messages. No, not with the message, basically. Okay? Anywho, as for which one's gonna be the craziest? Know a few, considering the critic does a couple PSAs during his, commercial specials, so I'm actually curious to see which ones he's found and see if we recognize them. So, let's check it out. Be sure to subscribe for more, hope you enjoy. Let's see what he's got.
Howdy.
Nope.
So what is a PSA? Well, you probably know, otherwise you wouldn't click my video. But let's check dictionary.com. It's kind of like those books we used to open up to find the meaning of a word. Yes, mostly rude words.
That's our
Yes, we can look up that word on your calculator.
What?
A PSA is an audio or video to educate or promote awareness about health, safety, etc. So like, don't blow up the house, don't drive over the speed limit, don't walk into a wall, that sort of thing.
They're actually modified sweat glands.
What?
Yeah.
PSAs are made all over the world to try and help people, but they can be pretty damn silly. So let's check out some silly and crazy PSAs. Also, I'll give each PSA a scare ranking out of 10. 1 being not at all scary, and 10 making us shake in our boots. Because why not?
Yeah, why not? Alright, first up.
Our first choice is piracy is illegal.
You are a pirate!
This was released by the MPAA in 2004, and it's easily one of the stupidest PSAs. But it was everywhere in the mid-2000s, and there's so many problems with the PSA in such a short period of time. For one thing, look at this download speed. Many of us had dial-up 56K modems back then, so there was no frickin' way our movies could download that fast. Realistically, you might leave your computer on for a video that might download for 5 days straight. Then the video would corrupt and fail randomly. Secondly, you wouldn't steal a car compared to downloading a video. Technically, no physical object is being taken whatsoever. And TVs, particularly back in the 2000s, were extremely heavy. So this guy trying to 5-finger this TV would probably fall over. I mean, obviously I'm not claiming piracy is legal, but this is so stupidly overblown, it turned out hilarious to most people who watched it. It's probably easier if I just replace the captions and show you what I mean. You wouldn't copy an MP4 file. You wouldn't download from a cloud server. You wouldn't watch a movie online.
Yeah, if only we know nowadays.
Downloading films is perfectly normal in practice in 2025.
Pretty much.
Just pay for the streaming service. Ooh, scary.
Dun, 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 dun. The cops are coming to get you.
Oh god!
And with streaming services nowadays, this message is pretty ironic. Now we all just pay a monthly fee to download our films constantly and watch them on demand. Disney Plus, Hulu, Paramount Plus, whatever your jam is. This may all seem silly now, but back 20 years ago, the MPAA really wanted us to associate physically stealing a car with downloading a movie, somehow. And they were just so proud of their terrible PSA as well. If you watched a DVD in the mid to late 2000s, you'd almost always see this stupid PSA before the film. I couldn't even watch an anime trailer without seeing this thing. They really upped the ante in the Australian version from my teens as well. There used to be a police siren going until she cancelled the download. I guess the cops are outside the teenager's door? To hell with a drug dealer down the street. This kid just downloaded American Pie. The British thought it was very silly as well, like this parody from IT Crowd.
Downloading films is stealing. If you do it, you will face the consequences.
Oh my god.
So what's the scary ranking?
Give it a 1.
I'm gonna give it a 3 out of 10.
Really?
This generally wasn't seen as scary, but it was very jarring to most people because of the rapidly flashing backgrounds and music. And it was really annoying by the 20th time we saw it. But by the 30th time I saw it, I was actually finding the song kinda catchy. Apparently this song was specifically produced for this PSA. But for a long time, we all thought it was pirated, ironically. Dun, 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 dun. And next up we have...
The pirates are out to get you.
They are? What the hell did I do? What, Scooby-Doo fans are pirates? There's so much to be said about this PSA. Firstly, I feel like anything that opens with, "they're out to get you," can't be really taken too seriously. That's what you say to a child when you're trying to tell them the story about the boogeyman. They're out to get you. And another question, what freaking pirate uses a branding iron? What, is he a farmer needing to brand his cows before milking? And this statement here just, what?
Piracy funds organised crime.
Piracy funds organized crime. Really? For the drug cartel, drugs are just a little side hustle. They're actually funded by selling pirated Disney DVDs. Ooh. Next, what is with piracy PSA?
Like, okay, I never pirated a DVD or something. What? I mean, what? Like, wouldn't people know? Like, come on. Ugh. Like, okay, there's like, okay, this remind me of the bit during the Prohibition oversimplified. Like, remember he was like in the middle, like discussing how bad like enforcing Prohibition was. He basically used that first one, you know, you wouldn't download a car, that, but it was like no one's enforcing a rule while everyone's breaking it. Is it really a law? Like, you get the point, right? Piracy, I mean, they're not charged and they're fine, but sorry, I'm not. I mean, like I said, I got nothing to defend it else. I mean, it just seems dumb. Anyway.
And their obsession with the police siren. And each line is just dumber than the next.
Will destroy our film and video industry.
Really? Because this PSA was made in 2002, and 23 years later, well, look at these top-grossing films. As far as I can see, the vast majority of these billion-dollar successes were made after 2002. Unless they meant it led to the streaming industry? No, I'm not giving them that much credit.
Piracy funds terrorism.
Piracy funds terrorism. You've got to be kidding me. Terrorists are funded by teenage girls downloading Twilight Breaking Dawn. Lindsay, sweetie, is there something you're not telling me? I mean, the only accurate part about this PSA is that only monsters would brand their stuff with an X. You'd have to be a real scum of the earth to brand anything with an X. And I'm sorry, my final nitpick is this line.
Your support can end the distribution of poor quality product.
So if everyone stopped pirating, Michael Bay would have stopped producing Transformers movies. You know, I think most of us would have agreed to that if we'd known. But you know, what fascinated me the most is that almost all the comments on the video were that people were terrified of this PSA as kids. But looking at it, this is among the silliest things I've ever seen. Coincidentally, one of the commenters didn't even watch their Scooby-Doo movie as a kid because of this scary PSA and they never wanted to see it again. No one in my community that I could find recommended this PSA. But I am so glad I found it, because I had no idea piracy PSAs had such a reputation for being the funniest, stupidest things on television. Next up, we have the PSA on dumb ways to die.
Dumb ways to die. So many dumb ways to die.
The most gentle song with the most horrific concept.
PSA.
All the stupidest ways someone can die. But hey, it's a good message on general safety awareness. Now I know not to invite a psycho killer inside my house. Or to take my helmet off in outer space. Or to use a clothes dryer as a hiding place.
That's silly. No one would use a clothes dryer as a hiding place.
I mean, they might. Back in the 90s, Sonic warned me about hiding in dryers too.
Believe it or not, every year some ignorant kid takes a ride in a clothes dryer just like this one and ends up getting hurt.
Yeah, but that's Sonic. He's silly.
Well, I guess some of these are believable things for people to do. This green one kept a rattlesnake as a pet, and I have heard of people keeping snakes as pets. Though I can't say I've considered selling my kidneys or eating superglue. That sounds really dangerous. But I guess a reminder not to get your toast out with a fork is always smart. Oh, here's one I've done multiple times. I've accidentally disturbed nests of wasps many times. If I had $1 for every wasp that bit me, I'd probably have $35.
Wasps are unlikely to kill you. Here in Australia, we get wasps all the time.
Yeah, just last month I got bit by a bunch of them. I mean, it didn't kill me, but I had to use cream for like 3 weeks. Anyway, way back in 2013, this video was an unbelievable phenomenon. This charming little song got over 320 million views on YouTube. It was actually made in Australia by the railway lines to promote railway safety. They cleverly got people's attention with the extra silly ways to die. And then they mixed in some more obvious train safety ones, like the danger of standing too close to a train platform, or driving around the barriers of a train crossing, or walking across the train tracks. They consider these the top 3 absolute dumbest ways to die. And the most gruesome. They literally are sliced into pieces. And the good news is that this PSA kind of worked. After this video went viral, the metro train stations of Australia reported a 20% reduction in near-miss accidents. Honestly, you couldn't ask for a better public safety campaign. After the explosion in popularity, they even made a dumb ways to die video game. I tried it, and it's a bunch of mini-games that are similar to WarioWare, still with a very strong message about train safety, even including a pledge.
But what scare rating would you give it?
For a scare rating, I give this maybe a 2. It is brutal, but it's also very gentle, and that's kind of what's beautiful about it. Despite us seeing things horribly mangled in terrible ways, it's so gentle and cartoony that it's got barely any scare factor. Next up, we have Pantosaurus.
We are private parts, belong only to you. If someone asks me to tell them no.
I'm finding it hard to express just how uncomfortable I am right now.
This is one of the weirdest things I've ever seen. And I review SpongeBob for a living. It's teaching children important lessons about watching out for criminals and being careful with their bathing suit area by singing about alligators never showing the insides of their pants. And honestly, I can't decide if this PSA is brilliant or supremely uncomfortable. I think it's both. The animation's quite charming. I like the use of gentle colors, but I feel like I need a chemical shower after watching this.
At least he bought something. Lurker.
And frankly, I'm concerned with how frequently this alligator child has to deal with grotesque criminals approaching them. It's not like the ad is technically doing anything wrong. It's teaching kids an important lesson on defending themselves and staying away from criminals. And yeah, it's also really catchy. Every time I dare play this song, I end up humming it for hours after.
If it's called Pantosaurus, does that mean those alligators are actually dinosaurs?
Oh yeah, Pantosaurus. I mean, I thought they were alligators, but now I'm not so sure. Overall, the ad's very on the nose, but very well-meaning. Hey hun, what's your scare rating for this one?
3 out of 10. The topic is very uncomfortable, but the song is super catchy and an important topic for child safety.
Next up, we have the Irish anti-speeding PSA.
Here it goes.
Oh dear, you can tell there's going to be trouble with how this video starts. We've got the gentle, happy song, the carefree young kids. They're hiking, they're seeing sights outdoors, they're fishing. Actually really makes me want to see Ireland someday, it's beautiful. But at the same time, we're like, they're clearly doomed, but there's no way they could off these kids, they wouldn't dare.
Didn't your friend have to censor this one? I think these kids might be in trouble.
Yeah, he did, and they are. Oh, and for goodness sake, when we can see kids merrily dancing with hands together around the tree, something has to go wrong.
What? Here it comes!
Obviously, I can't show the crash. But what puzzled me the most is the teachers just sit there and watch it as it all happens. I know it happens very fast, but their expressions don't even change as it all happens. They're just like, oh dear, I guess our bus home is gonna be a lot lighter. Even the kids don't react. This kid has like no reaction to the 4,000-pound Lexus flying towards it. I'm an external Irish speeding PSA. It's not like I really have to try. Won't be putting it on my resume. And apparently the PSA got so much backlash, it wasn't even allowed to be shown till after 9 PM. And yeah, I can see why.
Can't blame
I'm
them.
giving it a scary rating of 8 out of 10.
I'm giving it a scary rating of 7. The violence is very sudden and unexpected, and conceptually, it's horrible to imagine.
Next up, we have the new...
I mean, you're not wrong, it's just the... Kids die You know what I mean. The kid's getting flattened, okay? It's supposed to say flattening kids, okay? Have fun. No wonder this had to be shown after 9. Like, okay. How did they even, like, why were they thinking that was a good idea? Like, ugh. I mean, were they going for shock value? Like, no offense, bad idea. Oh boy. Ugh, caramba. What's next? Got a New Zealand one here.
New Zealand driving PSA. Not every PSA has to be violent and shocking to get its message across.
If he'd stopped here, his wife wouldn't take the full impact of the crash and die instantly.
Freaking charming. I'm sure that'll stop the hoons from speeding.
This PSA is from my neighbours in New Zealand. It's one of my favourite speeding PSAs as it actually doesn't use any shock content to get its point across. In fact, when I first saw it, it made me laugh.
Nah, you're too drunk, bro. Just crash here.
A Kiwi fella's at a party, and he's trying to tell his friend that he thinks he's too drunk to drive home. Rather than showing us a close-up picture of his friend's mangled body after he's brutally crashed into an orphanage full of children as he wails in agony, or police threatening us with obscenely large fines that we can't possibly afford. Instead, they make us laugh while still making us think about the consequences.
Ghost George will haunt me forever.
Grab a chip. Want a chip?
You know I can't grab your ghost chips.
Go away.
Spoon! Spacehead!
I mean, just look at the 47,000 likes and 4.2 million views on this re-uploaded version of the ad. It was a huge hit. Rather than calling someone an idiot for driving drunk and then trying to traumatize us with horrific crash footage, they say you're a legend for stopping your friend driving drunk.
Stop a mate from driving drunk. Legend.
Seeing this in Dumb Ways to Die really made me wonder just how effective the fear PSAs are versus the funny PSAs. So as usual, I turned to empirical studies and my good friends at the National Library of Medicine. They found in one study that using humor instead of fear in PSAs was more effective in reducing a dangerous behavior. And obviously, the humor ads had a more favorable response from the viewer. And this popular PSA or Dumb Ways to Die are good examples of that. And if they're funny, they're more likely to be watched again and seen by others and even talked about. And PSA creators around the world were like,
"Aww, but I wanted to make another horror movie scene. I like scaring people."
I give this a scare rating of 1 out of 10. That's a good thing, because I enjoy remembering this ad. Our next PSA is Wilkins Coffee.
Honey, isn't this a commercial?
Nah, look what it says here.
This has been a public service announcement.
See, the creepy murdering Kermit monster said it was a PSA.
Oh.
Well, either way, this was some of Jim Henson's very first puppet work way back in the 50s. Yeah, this Kermit lookalike is actually named Wilkins. I guess he liked the coffee so much he named himself after it. We can't tell in this vintage footage, but in the Red Diamond commercials he did later, Wilkins was colored brown, and the very unfortunate Watkins was colored red. Of all the 30 to 40 odd clips of Wilkins causing harm to Watkins, I found it interesting there was this particular period where they got ultra-violent. In probably the most gruesome clip, he skewers Watkins like a kebab. I often wondered if we got the censored version of this. Maybe Jim Henson originally showed Watkins being gutted, but he had to censor it and just left Wilkins cleaning the blood off his sword.
On guard, salute Wilkins Coffee. But I don't drink Wilkins Coffee. Some learn, some don't.
And in the clip after, Wilkins put...
Well, to be fair, he was only given like 5 seconds, I think, or 10. Basically under 30 seconds at least. To get the message across. So we figured, why not? Just get to the point. At least that's what the critic described it as. It's been a while, so I don't remember exactly. It was basically just, Wilkins, nope, don't die. That's basically the premise of all this stuff. There actually are more. I think Watkins was actually there was like a soda he would actually like. It was like, it was this? Yeah, thanks. Like, I don't remember the name. It's been a while since I don't remember. Do you guys remember the soda brand they were promoting? Or was it soda? I don't remember. Anyway.
Puts him in the electric chair. It's made even more ghoulish because Watkins looks like he's panting in terror. And we can see the straps on his neck and the electrical equipment on his head. It's almost creepier that there's no sound when he flips a switch.
How shocking.
As if Jim Henson is trying to top his own gore levels, he then straps Watkins to a saw blade at a sawmill. We cut back to Wilkins, but we can still hear the buzzsaw sound.
I should have saw this coming. He always was a cut-up.
Jeebus, what the hell, man? I guess it would have been too expensive to slice the Watkins Muppet in half. They lose more Muppets that way. And by the next clip, Watkins has understandably had enough of being killed. He immediately states Wilkins makes good coffee, but he still gets the crap beaten out of him.
Wilkins makes good coffee. Ooh, better coffee?
No.
Wilkins makes the best coffee.
There you go.
And finally, Wilkins himself comes in to just step on the poor Muppet. Knowing Jim Henson, it was probably him stepping on his own Muppet. Hey honey, what scare rating would you give these clips?
I'd give it a scare rating of 6. It's kinda creepy seeing Muppets in electric chairs and sawmills.
Yeah, some of these attacks are weirdly brutal for Muppets.
I love these Wilkins coffee commercials, don't you?
Oops, they called it commercial. I guess it's no longer a PSA. Let's continue. Our next choice is the Mario drug PSA. When I asked the community, this was one of the most highly recommended in the comments. Lou Albano was known as a WWE World Wrestler, but he was also known for the Super Mario Bros. Super Show. He hosted outside the main cartoon, and of course, he did the iconic Mario dance.
And then again, let's do the Mario all together now.
This is another of those anti-drug PSAs from the 80s.
Yeah,
but what surprised people the most is what he says at the end.
And if you do drugs, you go to hell before you die.
A PSA list truly isn't complete without Mario telling us we're going to hell. He says it so casually as well. Reminds me a lot of that anti-drug PSA with Pee-wee, where he directly talks to us as well.
This is crack.
I'm sure the actors had the best of intentions with these, and that's what I try to remember the most. If someone told me talking about drugs on television would help kids, I'd gladly do the same. Still, I can't say I had Mario telling me I'd go to hell on my 2025 bingo card.
Yep.
And finally, we have a favorite of mine. Sonic Says. These are some of the most memed PSAs on the internet. One in particular.
If someone tries to touch you in a way that makes you feel uncomfortable, that's no good.
Honestly, I thought I'd have a lot to make fun of with these, but weirdly, I actually think these are kinda beautiful. People make fun of the 90s PSAs a lot, but there's a rawness to these. It may feel very weird to us, the fact that Sonic is warning children to tell an adult if stuff happens in the bathing suit area, but Sonic is genuinely trying to help kids, telling them not to smoke, not to answer the door to strangers, even not to be swindled. Call me nuts, but I watched these PSAs over and over as a kid as I was watching Sonic, and a lot of them I took to heart. Like, after this PSA, even to this day, I never play my headphone music too loud, and I simply never use my headphones near the road. Otherwise, I might get run over by scratching ground with a steamroller. Plus, I didn't want to lose my hearing like Tails. Oh, and this one has just aged so dang well.
Robo Dude! Only $9.98. Plus batteries, cleaning attachments, program chips, and disposable trash bags. That'll be $99.98.
These PSAs were made in 1993. Yet to this day, people still swindle people just like this. Whether it be scam emails, pyramid schemes, scam messages, cults, misleading sale items, you name it. And Sonic sums up these scams in one sentence.
If it sounds too good to be true, it's probably false.
I still remember that sentence clear as day from when I first heard it in 1993. Because with the internet and being in 2025, I've had to consider it so many times over the years. I expected the comments of this video to be rife with people making fun of Sonic and Tails for these PSAs, but weirdly, a lot of the commenters had similar thoughts to me.
These Sonic Says segments are very important and helpful. They give important lessons and rules that teach young kids and teenagers to do good things.
Yes, 1 in 253 million people getting in a dryer per year. Probably wasn't worth a Sonic Says segment, but come on, there's 33 minutes of these PSAs. They can't all be gold. Another example, back then it was important to remember your number, and Sonic reminded us of that. I look back at these PSAs and they've aged surprisingly well.
Never do anything you don't think is right, even if other guys say it's cool.
Thanks, Sonic. And let me know if you got any other suggestions for some particularly silly or weird PSAs I might have missed. Thanks for watching, and whether I see you next time or not, I'll be back. Alright, boss.
And there. Whew. Okay. Man, I gotta say, those were some interesting ones, huh? Let me know if you actually remember any of these PSAs down below. Honestly, I think I remember the steal a car one, piracy one. The other is add dumb ways to die, of course. But it goes to show you, it's funny, and well, it's not just scare your pants frightening that you don't want to watch it again. Don't get your message across. You know, I mean, you've seen it. I mean, whew. But apparently PSAs just want to be scaring. But no, I think they'll learn. Apparently not. Well, until next time, guys. Thanks for watching. See ya.